Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Auntie Dom and your boy Chef MJ. Today we are making broccoli cheddar soup. As you guys know, once a week our house try to prepare either a vegan dish or a vegetarian dish, and tonight we are going vegetarian. So as you can see, we have all of our ingredients pretty much laid out for you. Listen, we are going to be using some yellow cheddar as well as one of my favorite cheeses, which is age reserve cheese. It's just going to give this dish a little bit more of a adult flavor. We have our garlic. As you can see, MJ put a little butter in the bottom of that pan, and we have our onions and our carrots going to work until they get a little translucent. Soften it up just a little bit. You know, we're using my grandmama pot, so the pot, it's a little wobbly, but it worked real good, okay? MJ is getting ready. He's adding that garlic to the pot so that we can get that garlic going and get it, really fragrant and starting to flavor that pot up really, really good. Go ahead, MJ. You doing your thing. Okay, next up, what we are getting ready to do is add some flour. We're going to make a very light roux, okay? So remember, we have butter in the bottom of the pan. That is our fat that is going to help that roux get to getting what it need to get, okay? Now listen, we did add 2 heaping, wooden spoonfuls of that flour. So we went ahead and added another spoonful of that flour. And as you can see, MJ is starting to work that flour in. He gotta get that flour off the side of that pot, okay? So that we can get that flour cooked down. We don't want a soup that tastes like flour, so you gotta cook it, all right? So as you can see, we're getting ready to add vegetable stock, okay? If you want to use chicken stock, by all means, you can. But because we're going vegetarian, we are using vegetable stock, okay? Now, we use 1 whole container, and then we also filled that container up with water and added another container full of water to the pot. We were making a big, soup pot on tonight. And because we added water, we wanted to make sure that we seasoned it really well. So we do have some Maggi cubes. As you can see, MJ is opening it up and dropping it into the pot right now. These are vegetable stock cubes, okay? Vegetable broth cubes. So just how they have chicken and they have beef stock cubes, they also have the vegetable cube. Listen, don't mind my boy MJ's little tattoo on the back of his hands. His hands were washed and they were cleaned, okay? So he's going ahead and dropping that in there so that we can season and get that soup base nice and flavorful. Okay, we're also going to add some black pepper. We're also going to add some better than bouillon. So this is what Malcolm is doing right now. MJ is adding that better than bouillon. And this is also vegetable flavor, okay? So he's going to add about 2 teaspoons of that. You do this to your taste, okay? Make sure that as you're cooking, you guys know you have to taste as you go, all right? I primarily really don't, go by too many recipes. It's just not really the way that I was taught to cook. I was taught to cook, by taste. And that's what I'm teaching, my babies, or how I'm teaching my babies how to cook as well. So as you can see, he's adding that black pepper. After we went ahead and mixed it up, I did taste the broth and realized that I needed to add another little teaspoon of that better than bouillon. We do not want a salty base, but you want it to be flavorful. Remember, we're getting ready to add all of that fresh broccoli, okay? And we want the broccoli to taste good. You want your broth to taste good. You just want a really good, flavorful pot. So MJ is adding that broccoli to the pot. We decided to go ahead and add some red potatoes in there as well. So we diced those up nice and small and added the potatoes as well with the broccoli. So we're going to go ahead and let this cook down. It really took about maybe 10 to 12 minutes for it to soften. We wanted the potatoes to be nice and cooked, not al dente. We wanted those potatoes to be done, okay? So pretty much as the potatoes were cooking, the broccoli was cooking, and it was perfect, okay? We went ahead and added some heavy cream. You can use half and half if you want to, okay? But we did add some heavy cream. We added a little bit of smoked paprika to take a little bit of that light skin away from our pot. Wanted to add just a little bit of color to the pot, so we did add some smoked paprika. Now here is my favorite part. You are going to let this come to a nice boil, okay? You're going to let your soup broth and your vegetables and everything come to a boil. Once you've gotten everything to a nice boil, you are at the point where you can turn your pot off. You do not want to add your cheese, okay, to a pot that is still on. All right? You don't want that cheese and the cream to start separating. You want a nice, creamy and smooth, not oily soup, okay? So we went ahead and turned the pot off and added the cheese to the pot. All of the residual heat from the stove as well as in the pot is going to melt that cheese down beautifully. So we added the cheese, we put the top on the pot and just let it get to work, all right? I went ahead and made some garlic butter and cut up some Italian bread and toasted some Italian bread in, I should say on my grill pan on top of the stove. Look how beautiful that soup look, y'all. Panera Bread ain't got nothing on Chef MJ, okay? MJ did a phenomenal job with direction. He was really proud of himself, and I was proud of him as well. Look at that beautifully toasted bread, okay? Toasted garlic bread that was just waiting to be sopped up in that soup. Now, you guys know I'm always looking for the kids to let us know if they like it. Aviana is one of my most picky eaters, and the fact that she looked at me and was like, "Mom, this is good," and had the nerve to ask for a second bowl. Listen, tonight's broccoli cheddar soup was definitely a hit. Look how she go ahead and dip that bread. I love it. Listen, thank you guys again for tuning in to another episode with Auntie Dom and Chef MJ. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this recipe, save it. If you try it, please make sure that you comment. Let us know if you did anything different. Let us know what you did different to your dish. I am looking to create another version of this. I want to do a vegan version. That means no butter. That means no cream. So it's going to be a challenge.